Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. Okay, today I have my September TBR, and I kind of debated not even making one of these videos, but there are some book club books that I wanted to make you aware of if you wanted to have a chance to read with me, and then there is also some arcs that I have that I'm really excited about. So, and some new releases, and just, you know, of all the seasons in the year, I feel like I get most excited about September and October TBRs because cozy fall, especially September, even though it's like 80 degrees today and I have a hoodie on. I don't care. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. So the first book that I want to mention is actually the book that my patrons voted on for our book club. So I just barely started a patron at the end of July, and so last month was the first full month that I've had over there, and we've been having so much fun talking and hanging out and reading sprints, and specifically like this book club was so much fun. We just read Between Wrath and Mercy in August, and it was a ton of fun. We had great conversation. We had a lot of great discussion about the book. The live show was fantastic, and then I do film an exclusive vlog reading this with all of my spoilery thoughts. Like, the vlog for Between Wrath and Mercy was almost an hour, so it's super duper fun. This is at the So Delicious level, and I do have like a 7-day free trial if you want to just go in and see what the Patreon is all about. I'd love to have you. I didn't know that was an option at first, so anyway, I'm brand new at this Patreon stuff. I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing, but we're having a ton of fun. So this is the book that everybody voted on for us to read for September. So it's The Madness of Lord Ian Mackenzie. This is a reread for me. This book I actually filmed a vlog. I think it is probably my first vlog I ever made for the Historical Romance Readathon back in 2020. And I filmed myself reading this, and I'm leaving it up even though it is probably cringe, and so I haven't reread this book since. It'll almost be like it's brand new to me with all of, I feel like my reading has broadened up even more since I started this channel, so I'm really excited to go back to this and to see what I think about it. I'm sure I'm still gonna love it, but I'm just excited to have another opportunity to read it and to talk about it. So anyway, if you want to join my Patreon and read this with us, it is the So Delicious level. And yeah, we do a live show, an hour-long live show where we're talking about it. Last month we had some of the patrons on screen, which was super fun, and then I do a reading vlog for it. So that one for sure is happening. And then another Patreon tier that I have for lesser tiers and above is you get to help decide what books I read and include in my weekly vlogs, and in the event that I don't get to vlog, you get to choose a video that goes on the channel. So this vlog, or this book that they picked for me to vlog, is A Tempest of Tea. This is a book that has been on my TBR for a while. I had a lot of fantasy romance books on there, and I was kind of surprised at this one, but I am also really excited about it. This is a YA fantasy. I know it has some romance in it. It's about vampires. I think it's in a near historical setting, so I'm excited about that one for sure. And then for my Fable book club, Fable book club, that's a free book club you can join. It's a text-based app. It's also brand new, and depending on how much people contribute to the conversation is how well the discussions go. So some months have more discussion than others, honestly. I think this is like the 4th month that I've been doing it. So this month everybody voted on The Making of a Highlander by Elisa Braden. This again is a reread for me. I've only read this once, and I'm very excited to get back to it. I love Elisa Braden. I love this series. This is basically, he's an Englishman coming to partake in like these Scottish games, and she's going to be coaching him how to be a Scotsman. So it's very cute. It's very fun. It's a great historical romance. Okay, and then I have some arcs that I want to talk about. So one arc that I really want to mention is not going to be coming out until the end of October. So this book comes out October 31st, and it is called A Journey Thrice Begun. This is by Sean Bobby Kerr. I hope I'm saying your last name right. Sean is a viewer of the channel, and he's also a patron, and he gifted me this advanced copy to read, and he didn't ask me to review it, but I want to read it. I want to review it. I read the first page, and I think his writing style is really sharp and clean, and I'm very excited about it. It feels like it's a fantasy trilogy. This is his debut book, so I think it has a little bit of a cozy vibe, and I believe there's a romantic element too. I'm excited about it. So if I don't get that in September, because I have a lot of other arcs that come before the end of October, it's going to happen in October for sure. So another arc that I have is in the Details, or The Details by Julia Wolfe. This comes out on September 12th, I believe. This is a contemporary romance, so this has a biker hero and a single mom. She's like an executive business lady, and they have a one-night stand, and then it turns into something more. So I really liked this author's book before. What was it? The one that I read that everybody loves. Jen loves this book from the Book Refuge. P.S. You're Intolerable. I really liked that. I think that I like how she writes her romances. They seem very sweet and very fun, and I love, at least that one that I read, I loved how the hero completely worshipped the heroine, and I feel like, from what I've heard from Jen, who has read and loved this author a lot, that's a trademark of this author. And I'm very much into that. So, okay, so now another arc that I'm actually over halfway through, I'll probably be finishing this any day, is The Wraith King by Juliette Cross. So Juliette Cross is one of my favorite authors. I love her Stay a Spell series. I have read other books of hers. I've read her Small Town Romance. I've read a previous, it was like an urban fantasy romance. I guess we would maybe call it romantasy series now, about demons and stuff like that. I liked that one too, and I just love her writing. I think it's very charming. It's very engaging, and I love the dynamic she has between her hero and heroine. And I actually had the opportunity to beta read this for Juliette, and that was like such a cool experience. So I am now reading the ARC version of it because I haven't read any of it since she made the changes from the beta read, and I will tell you right now, I'm 60% into it, and I'm already absolutely in love with it. So this comes out, I believe, September 24th, the end of September. So I am very, very excited about that one. Okay, and then one more arc that I have is The Curse of the Siren. So this is a romantasy book. This comes out, I believe, the first part of October or the end of September. This one I think is the one that was furthest out, so that's how I had it down in the list. But soon, like end of September, first part of October. This one isn't interesting because it's our heroine. Seems like there's a little bit of like almost like a Robin Hood plot. I read the first couple chapters of this, and then when I saw the release date was later, I put it aside for The Wraith King and The Details, which are going to be coming out sooner. So this one is, she ends up being half Siren or half Fae, and the blurb on this says that this is a world where humans don't realize that Fae can lie, so I'm kind of interested to see where it goes in that direction. And then she ends up like, she doesn't realize that she's a siren, she's in an accident, she's shot, and then close proximity with this guy who she has feelings for sort of bring her siren powers to the forefront, and then an adventure starts from there. So I believe this is a debut for this author, and I'm really hoping that I like this. I got the arc from Nerdy Fam, and I'm excited about it. It sounded interesting, and I don't feel like there are really a lot of siren romances, so excited about it. Okay, so now actually the day that I'm filming this book releases. I'm very excited about it. It is Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. I really enjoyed the first book in this series, which I feel like, you know, is interesting because I feel like I always like the books that the general population doesn't like. So I feel like a lot of people didn't like Wild Love. I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was, you know, it felt to me like a return to the Elsie Silver that I loved before the last few books in the Chestnut Springs series, which I didn't like personally. So I liked Wild Love a lot. So I'm very excited about Wild Eyes. I haven't heard anything, and I want to keep it that way for a while, so I hope to get to this soon. But, you know, I've got these other arcs that I have to read. I don't know if there's an audio. There actually may be an audio. If there is, I will probably do the audio. That would be exciting. Okay. So then I have, continuing on with my Stormlight Archive journey with Brandon Sanderson, I am going to be reading, this is too shiny, I'll put a picture in there. I am going to be reading Rhythm of War. Now, look at this. I am going to show you the girth of this here book. This one may be the longest one yet. Oh, maybe not. They're all about 1,200, 1,300 pages. This one looks like it has 1,200, so that may not be the longest, because I know there's one that's 1,300 pages. I honestly don't even pay attention. I'm just like, no, it's huge. It's going to take me all month to read. So, Rhythm of War is the most recent book that is out in the Stormlight Archive. It's book 4. This is a high epic fantasy series, and the last book in this arc of characters, this is not the end of Stormlight Archive, but this is the end of these characters' arc, so there will be 5 books in this series, comes out on December 6th. I've already pre-ordered it. I want to be ready to go when that comes out. So at this point, I will be all caught up on the series, and I'm very, very, very excited about that. So Rhythm of War is definitely happening in September. Okay, and then And then I mentioned, I don't know if I've mentioned it here. I mentioned it on Instagram and I mentioned it on Patreon, but I recently watched A Discovery of Witches on Netflix. It was my first introduction to this world. I've seen this book around for years and years and years. I know it was super popular. I never read it personally. So fell in love with the Netflix show, completely obsessed. And then of course I had to buy myself a copy, and I got the audiobook too, so I want to read this. I feel like it's perfect time for this type of read. Perfect time. So I'm very excited about this. I really hope I love it. I've heard really good things and excited. Okay, so now this one is a maybe, but it is one I also want to get to, and it is another reread, and it is Dark Lover by J.R. Ward. So I read this book years and years and years ago. This was like my introduction to adult parent, well, no. Was it? I feel like I'm trying to remember. I can't quite remember if I read this first or if I read the Janine Frost series first. This one feels like it's more heavily romance, while I feel like Janine Frost, well, no, they're both paranormal romance. Anyway, you don't need to know all that information. This is old school paranormal romance. I freaking loved this series. I haven't read it since it came out, probably. Like, I feel like I read it somewhere around when it came out. When actually was this published? 2005. Yeah, that probably is about when I read it, 2005. And I just really I've been wanting to reread the series for so long, so I'm ready. I'm ready for this. Okay, and then I have two more books, and then I'll be done. So this book I just got an audio arc of, and I'm so excited about it. I believe this book is already out, but I got the Libro FM audio arc, and it is The Pumpkin Spice Cafe. This looks so cute. I didn't even know anything about this, but this sounds like it is a cozy mystery / romance. So I know that the romance is a big deal. I know this is like small town romance. She works at a desk job. She's not happy there. I think it's her aunt. I just read the blurb. I'm not entirely sure. Her aunt, somebody gifts her this little pumpkin spice cafe. And so she goes to this small town to run it, happy to leave her dead-end job. And a farmer there is the love interest, and it just sounds so cute and like perfect vibes for right now, right? So that one I have an audio arc of. And then this one, The Spellshop, Sarah Beth Durst. I think this is such a stunningly beautiful cover. I just love it. I've heard really good things about this. Oh, man, the light is making it so you can't see. It's got such beautiful purple sprayed edges. I really am excited about this book. I heard it is cozy fantasy, and I think that there is a light romantic element in here, but it's the perfect time for cozy reads, so I'm very excited about this. I think this is just going to be a great time. I know Erin really liked this book, so. Alright, my friends, there you have it. That is my TBR for September. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for being here with me. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and if you have made it this far, please leave me any type of a leaf emoji because it's fall. And I'll see you all in my next video.